Now, a group calling themselves Newzroom Afrika against xenophobia is expected to give an update on a proposed march they have applied for with the Johannesburg Metro Police Department. According to the group, JMPD allegedly denied them permission to host a march against xenophobia. This comes amid high tensions between some migrants and people affiliated to the Operation Dudula movement. The movement has been clashing with migrants as they perform operations of what they are calling extracting illegal migrants who are involved in criminality in South Africa. Meanwhile, Operation Dudula is also expected to brief the media today. And on that, speaking about them briefing the media, they are set to hold that special meeting in Soweto this morning. The campaign is known for its strong stance against illegal migrants. And my colleague Malungelo Booi joins us now, and he is at Dorothy Nyembe Park. Malu, good morning to you, and thank you so much for your time. So, of course, this briefing would be quite interesting to see what comes out of it, especially because of the backlash that we have seen also against this movement, Operation Dudula.
Well, Tejo, let's clarify one thing first, that Operation Dudula is not holding any briefing. Essentially, they're holding their own special meeting here in Dorothy Nyembe in Dobsonville in Soweto. Essentially, their meeting is for them, really, to take stock of this campaign. As you rightfully pointed out, this is a campaign that essentially has divided public opinion in this country. Some people have been vehemently opposed to it for its strong stance against illegal migrants in the country. Others have actually been in support of the movement, saying that it's doing something that the South African government has essentially been unable to do to deal with the problem of illegal migrants in South Africa. So what we'll be seeing here today in Dorothy Nyembe Park in Soweto, we'll be seeing members of Operation Dudula gathering essentially to meet and discuss some of the successes of this program or of this campaign, and what is it then that they intend to do going forward. Remember, you and I, we've had this conversation about Operation Dudula. One of the things that this campaign intends to do, really, it intends not only to be an operation that's based or central here in Gauteng, they also want to be in various parts of the country. I know, for example, that they're planning to launch in KwaZulu-Natal, and they also have plans to launch in the Eastern Cape, all in a bid, really, to deal with the issue of illegal migrants. Here's what, when it comes to Operation Dudula as a whole, one of the things then that you'll see a lot of police officers that, will be around. Already we're starting to see a lot of law enforcement officials, members from the South African Police Service, and as well as from JMPD. They're here to essentially monitor what will be taking place here. I'm curious, though, Tejo, to hear what is their next plan. Will they continue to clamp down on the stores or shops or businesses which they say don't actually employ South Africans? Will they also be, doing this nationwide? Because they have been clamping down, really, here in many stores in Gauteng.
Malu, it is interesting to see that heavy police presence, and as you mentioned, it would also be interesting to hear from the Operation Dudula movement as to what is their plan going forward. However, from what you have gathered with the operations that they've had in the past couple of months or so, what are some of the issues? I mean, we know the issues around the illegal migrants, that is their concern, but have they actually gone back to those shops, Malu, do you know, to actually find out if these people have been moved out of working at a particular space? Have they gone back to double check and to make sure that they don't return?
In fact, I was talking to one of the leaders just before coming on air, and they were saying that yesterday they were in Jeppes and saying that they actually had a successful campaign there where some of the shop owners who essentially have been hiring or employing undocumented or illegal migrants have conceded that they won't be doing that again, and that they will actually now be employing South South Africans. So it's going to be interesting to hear what they say are their successes in this special meeting. Remember, Teho, one of the things that we've also seen over the past few weeks, in fact, shortly after what we saw in Alexandra Township, the clashes between those undocumented migrants and also members of Operation Dudula, we've seen law enforcement officials, including members of the South African Police Service, JMPD, and also officials from the Immigration Services, Home Affairs, also going into Alexandra Township, beginning to clamp down on those undocumented and illegal migrants. So one thing for certain that Operation Dudula has done, it has managed to get South Africans to talk about the issue of undocumented migrants. But at the same time, though, one would actually say that they have been able to get authorities to begin to start to address the issue of undocumented migrants in this country.
Malu, just one more question. The issue of Operation Dudula and in the Dudula movement, do we know what the difference is between the two?
Yeah. No, in fact, all I know is that they call themselves Operation Dudula, and then some people would then use, you know, that same hashtag, or the hashtag, you know, Dudula movement. But my understanding, though, from some of the people that I've been talking to, is that it's one and the same thing. And of course, as I stand to be corrected, but from some of the people, essentially, that I've been talking to, are saying that it's one and the same movement, really, that is fighting the issue of undocumented migrants in South Africa.